There's no doubt that Ray Dalio has got a winning formula, 32% up in the first half of 2022, but he's just consistently made money for people. What's his secret? But he's worth over 40 billion. 5 things that he says are super important to do if you're going to make money. Number 1, watch the economic trends. In other words, he believes history repeats itself. He looks at the trends, of what's happening, and he sees when there's cycles. So you get a cycle where perhaps the dollar is reaching a peak and China is actually growing. So he looks at where the economic cycles are and he talks about it. So you can actually look at his comments, and I'll keep you up to date on my YouTube channel. What are the economic cycles? Right now, he feels inflation's here to stay, and that means that you should be investing in areas that do well in inflationary times. Number 2, he respects inflation. So he's looking at the economics and then he respects things. So inflation is respected. What do I mean by that? He's been around. In other words, he's actually gone through a cycle of inflation before. He knows how dangerous it is to invest in those times. So again, he's looking for diversification. And some of his portfolio right now is in gold. Okay, why? Because he knows that in inflationary times, ultimately, gold keeps its value and increases. Number 3, he's got uncorrelated assets, but he avoids certain assets. So he's avoiding cash right now because inflation's eroding it, avoiding government bonds. He's got some Bitcoin, yep. Got some crypto. Wouldn't say that he's a massive fan. He's got exposure to it. He feels that it is potentially the future. Okay, I think the future is digital currencies. He thinks potentially. So he's exposed. He's got a percentage in there. He's got gold. And again, he's got other uncorrelated assets, as I'll explain in a second. Number 4, principle. Take your profits. Okay, he's not frightened to take. So he's not a buy and hold. Okay, he's a guy that looks, and he may be looking 18 months, 2 years down the road, so I wouldn't say he's a short-term investor, but if he feels that he's bought something, made good profits, definitely not frightened to take the profits. Okay, number 5, he knows investors are over bullish and over bearish. In other words, people invest on fear and greed, and he knows to be unemotional, look at the stats, invest when the right time is. So what's he invested in right now? Okay, well right now he's got gold. He's invested in China, Alibaba, for example. He's invested in stock that he feels will do well, and he believes that China is going to be one of the big recoveries. He's invested in emerging markets. So again, he's looking at countries where there's going to be growth in spite of the fact that there's a strong dollar. So again, his analysis will tell you or tell him what's the right place to invest. You talk to an advisor, they can explain. It's also invested in consumer staples. So this one is an easier one to look at if you're an investor. What's going to do well even if there's a recession? So think about things like Procter & Gamble comes to mind, where you've got companies, consumer staples, people are going to buy those things regardless. Okay, and of course, he then avoids the ones, as I've mentioned already, that he doesn't think are going to do well. That's Ray Dalio's strategy. He's made money year in, year out. On this YouTube channel, I'll put out information on what it takes to be successful in life and how you can gain tips and learn how to invest your own money. Hit subscribe, please like, please share the video as I get out information. And obviously, if you like and share the video, helps me with the algorithm and get out that information.